So I began in Saint-Malo, walked around and explored the city. I wanted to grab one of the bikes, but I couldn't, the app wouldn't send me the SMS code, so I couldn't use the local e-bikes. But anyway, I walked to a viewpoint and looked around, and then I walked down the main boardwalk as far as I could until I couldn't anymore. And I had to go catch the train to Dinan. I went into Dinan and I just found it absolutely gorgeous. And I didn't want to leave. I originally planned to stay there for about an hour and a half, but I ended up staying for the whole afternoon until about 6 p.m. It's a wonderful little medieval village. The main old part of the town is completely walled. There's a castle.
Ah non, parce que regarde.
There's an abbey. It's built on the shores of a river. There's flowers everywhere and shops and people. I would have stayed there, but I think all the hotels are almost completely sold out. The cheapest room was for 180 euros, which I cannot afford. So I had to leave at the end of the day, and I took the train here to Nantes. I really want to get down to Bordeaux tomorrow, at least, to go visit the wine country, so today was a good day. Oh, I'm very tired. 2 days ago I did that really long walk to Mont Saint-Michel. Today ended up walking more than I thought I would. I thought it was going to be mostly a travel day on the train with like a little bit of walking around, but Dinan is a very vertical town. It's built on a hill. I walked up the hill, and then down the hill. And then I walked around for a long time near the river and the abbey, and then I had to walk up the hill again. And even before I did that second walk up, the bottoms of my feet were killing me. I want to walk around tomorrow, but I don't know how I'm going to. I guess we'll see. So today I woke up in Nantes. My hotel was right next to the train station, so I just packed everything up, picked up my bag, walked out the door, walked like 300 meters to the train station, got in and got on the train. And then I took the train from Nantes to Bordeaux. This was the most beautiful train ride of the journey so far. Lots of wine fields, lots of green, other farmlands, some trees. And then I got off in Bordeaux, got on another train, and came to where I am now, which is Libourne. And then I checked into this hotel, grabbed my camera, put on sunscreen, went back to the train station, got on the train. I went to Saint-Émilion, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a chapel surrounded by a bunch of wineries, and the chapel is surrounded by a medieval town, but it's way different than Dinan. It's all made of this sandy white stone, so it has a more summery feel. The way the light reflects off of the stone it almost makes the whole town glow. So I spent the whole day wandering around the wineries and then the town. I did not eat very much. I think I had a sorbet, and then I had an omelet for dinner and another sorbet. I got pretty low on fuel. I'll have to figure out how to fix that tomorrow. I thought I had a plan for my train tomorrow where I wanted to go, but it looks like there might be some construction, so yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I'm gonna hop off and figure that out. Peace. Where did I wake up today? Today? Oh yeah. Where was I? I was just out. Really? Okay. I was just outside of Bordeaux. I had just come back from Saint-Étienne, and I didn't have a plan for today because there was all that weird stuff with the trains. So it took me until like 1 a.m. to get it all planned out. I booked a train to Bordeaux, and then a bus from Bordeaux to Toulouse. And I was in Toulouse for about an hour and a half. Toulouse is pretty cool. The Pink City. I like Toulouse. I walked around for I think I had 2 hours or so. Maybe an hour and a half. It was like 2 hours. Maybe it was 2.5 hours. I don't know. I only got like 4 hours of sleep, maybe even less because it was on and off. But it was a cool city to walk around for that time. And then got back on the train. Went to Narbonne, which is right by the Mediterranean. It would have been about an hour and a half walk to get to the ocean, so I didn't see the ocean there, but they have a nice canal. Then I got back on the train, and we went all the way to Marseille. The train at some point hit something on the tracks, and they were worried that it had damaged the train, so we had to stop immediately for maybe 20 minutes, and then we went not at full speed into the next station. We had to stop for another 20 minutes. I was kind of worried they were just gonna kick us off the train, but we probably would have just all gotten on the next train. Anyway, made it to Marseille. I walked down to the docks and dipped my toe in the water so I could say that I touched. I mean, I still had my shoe on, but there was no other way. I dipped my toe in the water just to say that I went into the Mediterranean. Marseille is a big city, lots of street art. It's pretty dirty though. I started watching the Champions League final tonight. PSG went 2-up. Marseille is not a fan of PSG. They're like PSG haters. They really wanted Inter Milan to win. Anyway, PSG went 2-up. I assumed that was pretty much the game, especially with how the possession was happening. So there was one later train I could have taken, but I got on the earlier one, which is better anyway, just in case. Game here, which is, I don't know how to say it. I think it's like Aix in Provence, AIX in Provence. I'm right next to the Mont Saint-Victoire, which Cézanne painted. So the idea is I'll wake up and I'll go hike around, get some of the viewpoints on Mont Saint-Victoire that Cézanne had, and then hopefully head up north in the afternoon to go see some poppy fields. I think it'll be a nice easy day. Probably go up to the source of the Seine after that, the next day. But yes, tomorrow I'll be carrying my pack and I'll be walking around, but I don't think it'll be a super hard day. I'm not like rushed, at least. Maybe it'll be like physically demanding to some extent because I'll have to carry my pack, but I don't think it'll be that bad. I think it'll be pretty chill, especially compared to today. Man, I was so tired today. So tired. All right, well, I'm tired, so going to sleep. Peace. Had a slow morning. I woke up pretty late, like 9ish. I went down, had big breakfast, and then walked to the Park of Painters, which has I assume, Cézanne's favorite view of Montagne Sainte-Victoire. I kind of looked around to see if I could find another angle on that mountain, but I couldn't really find anything after hiking for a pretty long time. So I walked and got on the train. My whole plan was to walk from Velleron to Thor. I had a couple of GPS coordinates that I found online for poppy fields, so I went to the first GPS coordinate. I also found the lavender fields, but it's really early in the season, so they aren't in full bloom. But I found a couple of poppy fields, and at one of the poppy fields I met some other travelers. They live in France, so not traveling very far. One was from Taiwan. Their names were Frank and Nancy, I think. Yeah, we had an interesting discussion. And we were both just in the poppy fields taking pictures, so we had a special artistic connection. Better. Good. And then I walked to Thor. I was hoping for some sunflower fields too. I think the sunflowers, the natural ones, are finished blooming already. And then I went and had, what do you call it, a Lebanese plate for dinner. And a lot of water. I drank so much water today, and it still wasn't enough. I needed more. It's just very hot and humid in this area. So I got in here a little bit late. It was pretty hard to get in this room. For whatever reason, I'm not receiving text messages, and I guess that's how I got the information about my hotel that I didn't get. And then I couldn't call the number on the door. Luckily, I got into the lobby, and then I talked to a couple people. I think I scared one of the couples, the second couple. I didn't realize that I was blocking their way initially. The first guy that I was talking to in the communal room gave me a good idea of going back to the original booking.com website and calling the number there, and I was able to get the guy to come down a little bit late and give me my room. So in the future, I really need to be more careful and just always make sure that I'm going to be there within the check-in times. As they said, late check-in would be okay. I was only 15 minutes late. I left a message, but there was no one there, and then it was call a number that I can't call. And I don't know, it was bad. Going to Annecy tomorrow. I'm going to turn this off and book that hotel and go to sleep. That's it. On Monday, I woke up in Avignon, and I had a train pretty early in the morning, 8 o'clock or so, and I just took the train all the way to Annecy. It's an alpine town. I walked around the town for a while. I looked at the lake. It was really pretty. It was kind of nice when I showed up, and then it started raining, so I had gone to start a hike, but I got caught in the rain. I tried to wait out the rain for like an hour, but it just kept going. So there was no chance of me going on the hike. So I ended up going in the rain back to the hotel, and then I just did my laundry pretty much. Obviously, then ate some good food. I had like this, it was like fondue. I had poutine fondue for dinner. Really good. Tuesday. I had seen that it was going to be really nice, so I got up really early at like 6. I walked around the town because it was like, daybreak, and I liked the mist, and then walked over and got on a bus, and then I hiked up a ridge and back down towards Annecy, and there were a couple of really good views of like the lake and the Alps behind the lake. I went back to the hotel, an hour and a half of work there. Not too bad. Then I took the train to where I am now, which is in Mâcon. I immediately ordered a cab to go over to Solutré. It's a super hilly wine country with this rock over the top. It rained like crazy right before I left, and then it opened up right as I got there. So I had originally thought, oh, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to eat some lunch and then I'll go, but because of the timing, I just had to go start shooting because I wasn't sure when it was going to start raining again. Right after I summited, the rain started coming down again. And so I kind of went from tree to tree and made it into the town, and I had to get a cab back into town here. And then for dinner, I had this delicious Moroccan meal. It was a couscous with chicken and vegetables, a little sauce that you pour over it. They serve tea with it. Delicious. No real plan today. I just need to end up just north of here. Oh yeah, so if I go to Chagny, it's just an hour walk to this little tiny village. So maybe that's the plan. Maybe the plan is go to Chagny, go to this little village, and then try and make my way back to Beaune. It is Wednesday. I'm going on Friday. Oh no. I woke up in Mâcon. I got 2 quiches, a croissant, and a raisin bread. Walked down and got on the train, went to Chagny. walked out from Chagny and through a couple small villages and then back to the next train stop, which took probably 4.5 hours, but it was worth it. There was a bunch of really cool wine country. It was raining the whole time, so I had an umbrella. I was like holding the umbrella over my head and putting it away when I could. I took the train to where I am now, Beaune, which is a walled city with vineyards around it. I just walked outside to some of the parks around the city and walked outside the walls toward the edge of the actual town, and the sun came out at the perfect time. We got the most incredible light. One more day out and then just Paris and home. So tomorrow morning should be fun. I think I'm gonna go to a park near Paris, walk around. It has some tree garden, flower garden, and then there's another section of it too. I don't remember what it is. And then tomorrow night I have Musée d'Orsay. So we'll see if I even do a recap tomorrow. Probably not.